One reason the debt of the United States is so large is because of the tension between the global and the local, globalization versus localization, and the domestic and the international. As the United States has grown, as its influence has grown, so has its debt. One stark example of these competing forces, global versus local, can be seen in Europe. One of the poorest countries per capita in Europe is Ukraine. At the other end of the spectrum is Poland, one of the richest countries in Europe per capita. You can see the effects of globalization very clearly. You have one country that is the beneficiary of decades of globalization. And at the same time, you have another country that's just starting that process. Now, the problem here is that as the United States expands its responsibilities and its influence overseas, it creates a gap between domestic voters and international obligations. And so what happens? The politicians at the national level try to resolve those competing factors by issuing more debt, by papering over conflicts. And that's one of the reasons now you have quite the opposite of compromise. You have very, very, very fastidious politicians that are drawing a line in the sand and trying to force their country to pay more attention to domestic matters than international matters. But the number of those politicians is still quite few, very much a minority. And so what you're really seeing here for the first time are cracks in the empire.